Nick Fury said that you were asked to move here for a reason so that S.H.I.E.L.D. could protect you and your family from the criminals that tried to kill you and assault your wife, and S.H.I.E.L.D. has been keeping a close eye on your family and your next door neighbor Katie. And then I sighed in relief and said, please send some guards here to protect Katie please sir. And then the Samuel L. Jackson look-alike Nick Fury said, okay son, no problem, because I know you have been under a lot of stress lately. And then I said, I'm under a lot stress right now. And then Nick Fury said, let's go son. And then I reluctantly followed Nick Fury to the S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier, where I had no doubt that the rest of the Avengers were waiting for us. And then Nick Fury said, we managed to capture Loki with the help of your brothers. And then I said, my brothers can't be trusted and I already know why they are here. And then Nick Fury said, yes, and I know too, they came to bring you to your father and they want to fight you. And then Nick Fury said, I also know that you only recently found out that you're a Hanma. And then I said, yes, my mother finally told me recently. And then Nick Fury said, I know, and that's why you look stressed out these days, right kid? And then I said, well, I'm even more stressed out now. And I said, I can't believe I live in a world full of superheroes. And then a system gamer screen popped up in front of me and it said, congratulations, you have leveled up to Infinity 1, and said you have now been blessed with infinite divine powers and you now have all the powers of all the Dragon Ball Z characters, and then even includes the genius level intelligence of Bulma Brief and Dr. Brief, and you also have all the powers of Gojo Satoru and all the powers of Hayato Furinji from the mightiest disciple. And then I smirked and said, thank God I have an infinity system. And unlike in the original storyline of the Avengers, things went a bit differently. My brothers and me ended up fighting the Hulk, and Thor helped us fight the Hulk also, and I even lifted Thor's hammer like it was nothing, and I managed to knock Hulk out of the big S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier with a single punch. And then Nick Fury said, I knew I chose wisely. I heard those monks taught you ancient fighting techniques that not even you hero Hanma knows. And then Baki Hanma said, I knew you were strong, but no one has ever beaten the Hulk like that before. You pretty much kicked his ass. And then I said, no, I just made him angrier, that's all. And then Baki said, Dad wants to meet you. And then I said, yes, and I already know why. And then Baki said, I want to fight you and Dad just wanted to meet you for dinner, that's all. But little did I know, when I fought the Hulk I swallowed a lot of his blood and then I fell to the ground and I said, something is wrong, I don't feel so well. And then I started to transform into a green Hulk and the demon back appeared on my back. And then Baki Hanma said, no, and then I now towered above Baki Hanma and I said, what the hell is this? And then Baki said, whoa dude, you've become a Hulk. And then suddenly my player system screen popped up again and it said, congratulations, you have leveled up to Infinity Level 2 and you now have all the powers of the Hulk and the powers of perfect command ability, and you can permanently deactivate your new powers through voice commands. And then I said, wow, I feel stronger and really good. And then Baki said, this awesome, you must have accidentally swallowed some of the Hulk's blood. And then I said, maybe, I think so. And then Baki said, try to turn back to normal if you can. And then I whispered in my mind, powers deactivate, and then I transformed back into a regular human size like Baki Hanma. And Baki Hanma said, now Dad is really going to be upset since you're also a Hulk now. And then I said, I think I can control my powers better than Bruce Banner can. And then Baki said, interesting, let's find out. And then Baki punched me in the face, but my head didn't even move and I didn't even get angry. And then Baki said, damn it, my hand, ouch. And then I asked Baki, dude, why did you punch me? And then he said, I was trying to see if you would get angry. And then I said, I barely felt your punch, in fact it barely registered because it felt like a tap. And I asked Baki, are you sure you're a Hanma? And then Baki said, what the hell dude, of course I am a Hanma. And then I said, okay, just punch me harder. And then Baki said, alright. And then Baki Hanma smirked and said, I will get him this time. And then Baki used his special punch on me and it knocked me down, but it didn't knock me out and I got right back up. And I said, okay, that was a lot better, I actually felt that a bit more. And then Baki said, okay, that's good, and this means you have surpassed my level of power, maybe you can beat Yujiro Hanma after all. And then I asked Baki, what do you mean? And then Baki said, well, I'm hoping someone like you can kill Yujiro Hanma. And then I asked Baki, Hanma, why would I want to kill Yujiro Hanma? And then he said, because you're stronger.